So, hi everybody who's coming in to join us there. You're very welcome to the TU Dublin Mature Student webinar here this evening. My name is Megan Yates, and I am the CAO Undergraduate Recruitment Lead, and I'm joined by my colleagues, Nolene and Karen from our Admissions and our Access and Outreach Office, and also very specially joined by our student ambassadors here. At the end of our webinar, we'll have a Q&A with them. So just a little bit of housekeeping as we begin. So the webinar is being recorded. So we will send a link to the recording to everybody who has registered or joined here tonight. So you'll be able to watch this all back. So if there's anything you want to look back on and check information on again, it'll all be there. Your camera and microphones have been disabled, so you're just watching, so you're not able to come in, but we will be opening our chat towards the end of the session. So as we move into that Ambassador Q&A, there will be an opportunity for you to ask your questions in the chat. So if there's anything you want to ask, please do put it there. My colleague David will send a message when the chat is open. He will also be putting in lots of useful links and information for you there, so keep an eye on it throughout the session. So as I mentioned, I'll give you an introduction to TU Dublin. My colleague Nolene will go through how to make an application specifically as a mature student. My colleague Karen then will talk about our preparation days for mature students, and then we'll have our Q&A with our ambassadors. So who are we? So at TU Dublin, we're Ireland's largest technological university. We were also Ireland's first technological university. You may have heard of us before as DIT, IT Tala and IT Blanchardstown. We all came together back in 2019 to form the Technological University, and we have 5 different campuses, which I'll introduce you to. We have about 3,500 staff and 27,000 students. While that sounds like an awful lot, you'll see that we actually keep quite small class sizes, so it's very practical and hands-on learning. So we've 152 undergraduate programs at the moment in our portfolio. So when you split that down, and that's students across our undergraduate, postgraduate, lifelong learning and research. So it sounds like a lot of students, but we still keep that small class size and that one-on-one time with your lecturers. Other reasons of why you might choose TU Dublin, as I mentioned, the small class size student-teacher ratio. We're also very practice-based, so we have a lot of programs where you get hands-on learning, whether that's a science subject in a lab, an engineering subject in a workshop, computer science in a computer lab, arts in the studios. There's so many different options right across our portfolio, and all the way from our undergraduate level up to PhD research. We have that long tradition of academic excellence held by our different institutes that we were before and well respected by employers. So we have great relationships there for when you're looking for your internships, your placements, and for your full-time career on graduation. We have the ladder of progression from level 6, 7 to level 8, which I'll touch on a little bit later, which is quite unique to us here. We have our access admission schemes, so we fall under the here and there, but if you don't qualify for them, we also have our own TU Dublin access routes, which are worth checking out, and they give additional supports and additional access routes into university. And we have a variety of scholarship opportunities. So the only one we currently have open as a pre-entry one at the moment is our sports scholarship, which will be opening in February. And that's for anybody competing in elite sports at a high level. So I did mention we have 5 different locations. So here they are. So we have our Blanchardstown campus, which is just outside of Dublin, located easily on the M50 and served by plenty of bus routes. We have our Tala campus, which is also outside the centre, but well served by public transport and is at the end of the red Lewis line. And then we have our 3 city centre locations, which are our Ainger Street, which is just up behind Stephen's Green, which is where our business programmes sit. Bolton Street, which is just a 7-minute walk from our city centre Grangegorman campus, which is where most of our engineering programmes sit. And then Grangegorman, which is our newest purpose-built campus in the city centre. So all really well served by public transport, really easy to commute to by all different forms, and gives you a variety of options. And all of our campuses cover lots of different disciplines. And you'll see there our little note. You'll always know what campus you are applying to. So we have a few programs that run that are similar or the same, but they run on different campuses. So we just remind you to be very careful when you're filling out your CAO that you pick the correct campus location that you wish to attend, because we do not offer first year internal transfers. So be very careful whether it's the same code with a campus location option or whether they're different codes. So just make sure to check that on our course web pages as you apply. We also have a number of sports and leisure clubs. So these are a great way to meet people outside your course, but also socialize. And they're for all levels and abilities. So whether you're someone who just wants to pick up a new hobby, whether it's a hobby or a sport you already enjoy, but you're playing at a lower level, or whether you want to play at quite a high level, we have different teams, different abilities, and different training sessions. So we have 40 different sports clubs for you to try and join. And we also have a number of societies as well. We've over 100 societies, again, across all of our campuses, across all different areas. Great for, again, meeting people outside your course, involving yourself in college life, getting to attend events and getting to attend different activities. And they run across the whole semester. And there's always a sports and society sign up day for first years. So you get a chance to meet people from them, check out what they do, and decide which ones you want to join. In TU Dublin, then we have 13 different disciplines. So I mentioned those 152 programs. So it's a lot. So we obviously can't cover them all today, but you'll be able to check them all out in our CAO hub, which Nolene will show you shortly. But all of our programs are split across these different disciplines. So whether you're interested in business or computing or architecture, media, hospitality, engineering, law, languages, music and drama, science and health, social science and education, or sports and leisure, there's something for everyone. And our newest discipline as of this year, 2026, will be our arts discipline. So we have a brand new arts program launching for this September. So I did mention earlier we have a ladder of progression here in TU Dublin. So on your CAO, you'll see that you have an option to fill out a level 6-7 programs and an option to fill out the level 8. We always recommend people fill out both sides to give themselves as many options as possible. So in TU Dublin, you can come in on a level 6 program. It's a 2-year program, and on completion, you graduate with a higher certificate. And if you're doing well and you're meeting the passing minimum requirement, there's an opportunity for you then to enter year 3 of the level 7 program, do that extra year and graduate with an ordinary degree. And again, if you're meeting the passing requirement, then there's an option to move into year 4 of the level 8 program. It does depend on the program, and each program has a different requirement, but it is an opportunity if you don't get the points or meet the minimum entry to progress straight into a level 8 starting off. There's always that option to join the level 6-7 and move into the level 8 then further on. So it's to keep your options open. It doesn't matter what door you come into the university on, there's always those opportunities for you to progress internally. And we're very supportive of it here in TU Dublin. So that's a whistle-stop tour of an introduction of who we are in TU Dublin. But now I know a lot of you will be very eager to find out, well, how do you make that CAO application, especially as a mature student? So I'm going to hand you over now to our admissions for Nolene Johnson, and she is going to go through what you should put on your application and how to fill it out as a mature student. So Nolene, over to you.
Thanks, Megan. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. And as Megan said, I work in the admissions office here in TU Dublin. So our email address is there on the screen. And if you have any questions following tonight's webinar, you can email us at admissions@tudublin.ie, and we'd be delighted to deal with your individual questions. This evening, I want to talk to you about making a strong application and where you can find the information that you need to make that application. And I suppose the starting point would be to look at the courses that you want to apply for at TU Dublin. So if you go to the university website and search by courses in the engineering discipline or the business or social care. You'll come to the individual course pages, and there's a lot of useful information here on these course pages. You can see the title at the top there, and then take this course for example, what is aviation technology? And on the right hand side there, you can see that we have videos on the course pages, where sometimes we'll be talking to students and sometimes we'll talk to academic staff, and they'll talk about the content of the course, what interested them, career paths, and there's some very useful information there to help you make a decision on whether this course is for you. If we go on down, you can look at the module listing. So you can see the listings per year, what modules you would cover in year 1, 2, and 3. There's information on how to apply, and very important then at the bottom, progression. So how would you progress, and what course would you progress to? So you can see here from the middle table here, you can see the TU code. So this course, Aviation Technology, the TU code is TU721. And that's important when you're making your CAO application. You need that for making the application. You can see that what the award is. It's a Bachelor of Engineering. You can see where the location is. It's Bolton Street. And Megan has already talked to you about the importance of knowing where each course is running, because we could have engineering running on all 3 campuses, as we do have business and social care. So you don't want to be traveling 2 hours in the morning to a different campus when there's one much closer. Because I'm sure as a mature student, you have other commitments at home or outside college. So you don't want to spend 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. And once you receive an offer from TU Dublin, you can't get a lower offer. Okay, so this is the importance of the CAO order of preference. And we'll go into that in a little bit more detail further on. You can also see here that it's a level 7. This particular course is a level 7, an ordinary bachelor degree, and it's 3 years duration. And you can see how many places we have on this course. So we roughly fill about 10% of course places we keep for mature applicants. That's our aim. We would want to fill at least 10% of each course with mature applicants. So any course you're interested in, if you go to the course page, there's very useful information there for you. Okay, so the next piece that you need to know about it, on the TU Dublin website, in the top right-hand corner, we have put all the information together that we feel you need to make a CAO application. It's called the CAO Hub. So as I said, top right-hand corner of the TU Dublin website, click on CAO Hub and it'll bring you here. So you can see here we've information in different boxes depending on the cohort of applicant you are. So the Irish Leaving Cert student will want to know about how we'll calculate points, their minimum entry requirements, when the offers will be made, and so on. The next box in, this is applicable to tonight's webinar. It's for mature applicants. So when you click on this box, it will bring you to this page. And this is part of CAO Hub, the mature applicants. So we have put information here, which is specific to TU Dublin, about how to apply. What age do you need to be? That's a question we're often asked. So to be classed as a mature applicant, you must be 23 years or older on the 1st of January 2026. So to apply as a mature student for entry in September 26, you need to be 23 years or older on the 1st of January 26. We talk a little bit about making a late application, and also we have information here on how we will assess you for suitability to college. Now, on the right-hand side, I've just taken a screenshot from the CAO website. So you'll be applying through the CAO, and their website address is www.cao.ie. And they have very useful information here also for mature applicants. They do some very short videos. They're very to the point, and I really like them. Nobody wants to sit and watch a video for 20 minutes, but they'll do short, snappy videos, and they give really good advice on applying as a mature applicant. The reason we have a CAO hub is because the CAO will often say, contact the university you're applying. So they'll give very generic information, and then they'll say verify the information with the university you're applying for. So we have a lot of the information will be common to both websites, but then we will talk a little bit more specifically like to TU Dublin. late applications. Some universities will not accept applications after the 1st of February, whereas TU Dublin, we will take late applications up to the 1st of May. But for mature applicants, we strongly advise you apply by the 1st of February. And I'll go into that a little bit further now. Right. Now we're going to talk about making your application. So you must apply through the CAO before 5 p.m. on the 1st of February. Some of you may already have started your application. You may have created an account and you have your CAO number. For those of you who haven't, you need to apply before 5 p.m. on the 1st of February. As I was saying there a few minutes ago, we will take late applications up to the 1st of May, where a course is not restricted, where there's no portfolios or auditions. A course will be classed as restricted where, like, for example, drama, TU 962, where there's an audition, because that has to happen much earlier on in the application process. So any course that's restricted, you must apply by the 1st of February. I did say we'll take a late mature application up to the 1st of May, but the problem here is mature assessments and interviews will be carried out in April and May. And this is due to the large number of courses we offer and the many assessors that we have involved. So each course, the academic assessors will look after the mature applicants for their course. So if you apply for the 1st of May, a late closing date, it's really subject to places being available at that point. Okay. Now, there is a mature section to the CAO application form, and we're going to talk about that in 1 minute. And this particular section of the form, it must be completed by 5 p.m. on the 1st of March. So you need to make your application by the 1st of February, but then within the application form, there's a mature section, and that needs to be completed by 5 p.m. on the 1st of March. Then you must upload or post supporting documents within 10 days of your online application. And the CAO advise do not do both, because if you upload documents and then post the same documents, it will delay the process. They'll be going through all the documents saying, is that a duplicate? And so they want you to do one or the other, upload or post. And then the CAO change of mind opens on the 5th of May and closes on the 1st of July. And this is really to allow applicants reorder their course choices or reorder their courses in the order of preference. They might have changed you might have said before, look, I want to apply for engineering on Bolton Street. And then you said, look, I'm really interested in software development out in Tallaght. So you're just reordering your preferences, and you can do that during the change of mind period. Now, I'm just going to check there. Did I jump too far? Apologies. Yeah, I'll go here now. That's perfect. Okay, so on the CAO application form, there is a section for qualifications and assessments. And mature applicants will often just tick number 7 here to say that they're a mature applicant. But what we would advise is you should tick all the boxes that apply to you. So you're a mature applicant. You might have an Irish Leaving Cert. It might be 15 years since you set the Leaving Cert, but that's fine. You might have done a QQI award last year. You should tick the box to say you're a QQI applicant. And the more boxes you tick, the better, because a mature applicant will be assessed and offers go to mature applicants in early July. If you didn't get an offer based on being mature, you might get an offer based on your QQI award and the results achieved in the QQI if you meet the QQI criteria. But the more information we have at time of assessment, the better. So we often find mature applicants will just tick the one box. You can tick them all if they're relevant to you. Now, also within the application, there is I spoke about this earlier. I just took this screenshot from within the CAO application form. There's a section for mature applicants, and you'll see this as you work through the form. It says click on mature applicant form to update your mature application form, and you can see there it must be completed by the 1st of March 2026. So it's on the basis of the information that you provide in the mature section of the application And that's how it's on that basis whether we make you an offer and how we will assess you. Some assessors, depending on the course, will shortlist applicants to interview. So in the case of social care, we receive a huge number of applications every year for social care. And as you may know, social care runs on our Grange Gorman campus, Tallaght campus, and Blanchardstown. So the academic assessors will shortlist applicants to interview based on the information here. So it's very important that you address each of these headings on the mature section of the form. So we'll ask you for details of your highest qualification. Now, you don't need to worry if you haven't got studies in the past or that, because we're looking at your life and work experience and your statement of interest. So they ask you about your highest qualification to date. They'll ask you about your current studies. Are you currently studying a QQI award? If yes, please provide us with the details. Tell us what college you're attending, what the title of the QQI award is, please. Previous studies at secondary school, post-secondary and non-certificate courses. So you may, in your work, have done non-certificate courses. So you can tell us about that. We want to know about your employment and any voluntary work you've done. And then, very important, your statement of interest. So we'll talk about what to include your statement of interest in a minute. And then also, very important, where English is not your first language, please provide proof of English language competency. So on our website, we have listed recognized tests of English that we accept. And, like IELTS or the Duolingo. So we have information on our website. Or if you have studied through English previously, you can give us details on that. Now, so the very important statement of interest. If you don't complete the statement of interest, then we won't really be able to assess you as a mature applicant. This is so important. We want to know in the statement of interest, have you researched the course? Do you know what course you're applying for? Why are you interested in the course? Have you looked at the course page? Do you know what the course modules, what it involves? Do you know what are the career goals? What preparation have you made for returning to higher education? Applicants will sometimes talk about applying for the SUSI grant or back to education. They'll talk about student loans. And all of this shows your preparedness for going to college and that you have done your research and that you're really committed and ready to go to college. And in it, you may also talk about your awareness of the demands of full-time education. You'll often see a mature student, they'll talk about how they're going to organise their life. And if they've children, they'll talk about, we've got my childminder in place and I'm ready to go. So a statement of interest, it's like, some assessors will ask you to come for an interview, but others will assess you solely on this. So the more information you give them, the better. We would also get a question quite regularly. At this point, I'm really not sure. I want to study business, but I don't know what my career goal is. And that's okay to say. You can talk about your interest in business, but you're not sure how you'll use it when you graduate. But you can talk about how you got prepared, how you're going to finance yourself. So we would advise you to address each of these bullet points in your statement of interest, please. Now, let's talk about making the most of your CIO application. So for anyone who's already made their application, they'll be aware of what it looks like. But for anyone here today, so there's two course choice lists. There's a level 8 list and then a level 6-7. And you can apply for up to 10 courses on your level 8 and 10 courses on your level 6-7. You'll see here I've taken a screenshot from the CIO demonstration application form. Now you can only see 4 courses, but there are 10 boxes. You can apply for up to 10 courses on the level 8 and 10 courses on the level 6-7. And your choices on one list do not in any way affect your choices on the other list, okay? So they're independent and they're considered as 2 separate applications on the one form. And it is possible, and we often make an offer at level 8 and level 6-7. And then applicants have the choice. Do they want to pursue the level 8? Because you might get level 8 in social care and you could get community and youth at level 7. And then you have a decision. Do I really want the community youth now or do I want the social care? So, or you might get social care at level 8 and level 7, and you have a choice. Okay, so you could get offers off both lists, and then it's up to yourself which one you take. But you can only accept one. And as we spoke about before, you list courses in genuine order of preference. So if you got your first preference, if we made you an offer for your first preference, you can never be offered anything lower. If you get your first preference, it's assumed that's what you want. By the very nature, it's your first preference. The rules of the CAO are, if you get your first preference, you will never be offered a course lower on your list. If you got your third preference, for example, just say you had your third preference here, then in the next rounds of offers, there is the potential for you to receive your second preference or your first preference, but never lower. So you can always work up, but never down. So if you get your third or fourth preference, you can get your second or first in subsequent rounds, but never lower. I hope that makes sense. And 10% of our places per course we would try to fill with mature applicants. So we're looking for mature students on our courses. We find the dynamic of mature students is very good for the course, and really creates a good learning environment. Now, some courses are more competitive due to the course size. Like if you've only 16 places or 20 places, then you vote 10% of 20, as opposed to a business course, which could have 100 places, and 10% of 100 is greater, obviously. So we would say maximize your options by applying for multiple courses. And we would strongly advise not to just apply for level 8, apply for level 6, 7 also, because you're giving yourself more options. Okay. Pay attention to the location of the course. We've covered that already. And we would say read all emails received from the CAO. You will get emails from the CAO. It's very important you read those. In May, you'll be asked to log into CAO, and you'll be asked to confirm your course choices. So please read the emails that you get from the CAO and don't miss out on what they're asking you to do there, please. Right. So the CAO offer and acceptance dates. Offers are made through the CAO on behalf of TU Dublin. So we tell the CAO who we want to make offers to, and round A offers are issued to mature applicants, and that's in early July, usually the 5th or 6th, depends on how it falls each year. So it's usually the 5th or 6th of July, and these dates are on the CAO website. So the CAO will make those offers for us in early July, and they're to mature applicants. Then we will have round 0. And a lot of people don't know that there's round A and round 0. Everybody knows it's in the news about round 1 offers to Leaving Cert students in late August, but they don't realise that there's round A offers in early July to mature applicants, and round 0 offers in early August to QQI applicants. Now, if we have mature applicants on the webinar here tonight who potentially could get a mature offer in July, and then they could get a higher offer based on a QQI award in August. So that's the benefit of being a mature applicant and doing QQI studies. You have 2 bites at the cherry. Then round 1 offers will go out late August, as I said, to Leaving Certificate and EU applicants. And round 2, then there are subsequent rounds like round 2, 3, and 4. And there where we still have places remaining on courses, we go out with further offers. That's all I want to say tonight. So you have my email address, and I'm going to hand you over to Karen Carter in our Access and Outreach office.
Thanks, Noeline. Hello, everyone, and delighted you could join us here this evening. My name is Karen, as Noeline says, and I work in the Access and Outreach office, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of the preparation days for mature students. So Megan's giving an overview of TU Dublin, and Noeline spoke about getting in and applying to TU Dublin. And now I'm going to talk about, when you are a TU Dublin student, of the support you can avail of. So going back to the slide that Noeline had just about when the offers come out, the invitation for the preparation workshops come out when you accept your offer that you've received, either in round A or round 0. So just always please keep an eye on that email for the invitation to attendees. And I'd highly recommend if you could register for them when you do receive this, if it's something that you think you would like to avail of, as there can be limited places and it tends to fill up quite quickly. So what are the preparation days? Well, I feel very lucky to be able to organise these as a mature student myself. Once upon a time, I would have really appreciated and availed of these. So it's an opportunity for mature students to come onto the campus that they're going to be potentially studying on and get information on the range of different supports and departments that's available. There's also a tour of campus, and most importantly, it gives you a great opportunity to meet fellow students that are going to be in your course, or not necessarily even on your course, just that will be roaming around and you'll be bumping into them in the canteen or anything like that. So they usually are take place during the 3rd and 4th week of August. The dates are currently being confirmed, and they take place from 9 to 4 p.m. I would highly encourage you to register for the campus that you're going to be studying on, because it gives you a great opportunity to familiarize yourself with the campus, but also it's kind of the hidden things as well as like getting to the campus. It can give you a great opportunity to, time your transport or how you get there or what's the best route. And then when you get there as well, what I've found in the last few years is the conversation between the mature students that are there. And there's always someone that knows a quicker route or an easier way, or so it gives you that opportunity as well. So they take place on each campus. As I said, I would encourage you to attend the one that you're going to be attending on, but I do understand mature students have a lot of commitments, and during the 3rd or 4th week of August, there can be a lot going on. So if there was an opportunity that you couldn't attend, say you were your course is on Grangegorman, but you couldn't attend that date, we would most welcome you on Tallaght or Blanchetown as well. And these are also offered to people that are going to be studying on Bolton Street and Ainger Street as well. So anyone studying on them campus will be invited to these. And now I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the TU Dublin supports. But as I said previously, on the day we discussed about registration, there's also a talk about the financial support and assistance available to mature students, which is always very beneficial, as it's great. It gives you a great kind of springboard of starting into September. And then all the departments that you see here will be attending on the day. They give an information session, and then there's an opportunity to have a Q&A with these departments as well. And we also provide a guide. So the guide is given to people that are available in a hardback and a digital format. So that's really supportive. So yeah, I really look forward to seeing you in August. Hopefully, if you are, come up to me and tell me that you're at today, and the very, very best of luck with your application. I'll hand you over to Megan now.
Brilliant. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Nolene, for all the helpful information there for everybody watching tonight and watching on the playback. Just as I'm asking our student ambassadors to start joining us on their camera, I'm just going to share with you there the email addresses. You might have very specific questions that you want to ask that aren't suitable for the chat. Maybe you have different personal circumstances, or maybe there's something you're not sure about how to fill out that personal statement. So we have our admissions@tudublin.ie email address, and that's about anything relating to how to apply, and that will go to Nolene and her team. And then we also have our courses@tudublin.ie email address, which is more if you have questions about a specific program and you want to ask, and that will go to our team there. But all of our programs, as we mentioned, are available on our CAO Hub and through the program pages. If you put in those TU codes, you'll also be able to see a digital version of our prospectus online as well, which will showcase all 152 of those programs. So you can see their location, their title, their course codes. So then you can use that information to check out their course pages. And of course, we would like to welcome you all to our upcoming spring open days, which are taking place across our 5 campuses in April. And those dates, locations and times and registration links are available on that CAO Hub under open days and events there as well. So I'm going to stop sharing our presentation now, and I'm going to call on our student ambassadors there that we have joining us this evening. So we will have Letitia, we have Cinder, we have Georgina, and we have Claudia. So I can see 2 of them have joined us there. We'll just give Cinder and Claudia a moment to just pop on their camera and join us there now as well. And my colleague David is going to have the chat open. So if you have specific questions, you can pop them in. but also Nolene and Karen will be keeping an eye on those chat questions so they may reply to you directly. So I'm going to start off first by asking Letitia a few questions. So our 4 student ambassadors have all come through the mature student route. They're all on different programs. So I'm going to get you, Letitia, to introduce yourself first, what program you're doing, what year and what campus.
Okay, hello everybody, good evening. So my name is Leticia. I am studying in Blanchardstown. I'm on my second year on accounting and finance in Blanchardstown campus. Yeah.
Brilliant. And what made you choose accounting, Letitia, in TU Dublin?
Well, to be true, I wanted to do accounting for a while since I was young. Life always got in the way. I did started it 20 years ago, was actually business, and then moved countries and life happening. So finally, last year, the year before, I was able to finally start it, engage on it, and I'm delighted. I'm on my second year now.
Brilliant. And why was TU Dublin your first choice?
The campus, Blanchardstown campus, is literally beside my home, so was very handy. And funny enough, I think the building there is so beautiful, and the lake to go to the campus as well was like a plus.
It's a very
Yeah,
scenic campus there. There's some
it
lovely
is.
grounds for walking and some lovely facilities and some new buildings there as well recently.
It is, yes. It's lovely. It's really nice.
And I suppose, Letitia, what advice would you give to mature students who are maybe nervous or worried about starting or coming back to college?
Yeah, I can say by my experience, I am way over 30s and 40. So at the start, I was a little bit nervous. I was thinking, my God, go to the class with all these young people, how it's gonna be. But I embraced it. I went, and I have to say, the lecturers, the college, the colleagues, the other students, everybody's very welcoming, very supportive, and I am really delighted I made this choice. As like I wanted hours to study, life got in the way, was a bit late, but I'm there now, and there is no regret. Just like if you feel it, go for it. If you have the chance now, don't waste it.
Brilliant. So enthusiastic. And the final question then, how do you find balancing your coursework, your lectures, your home commitments?
It's not very easy, but it's good. Like we have the class timetable. You can organize yourself around everything, all the duties, everything you have to do. The lecturers are very supportive. Anyone in the college are very supportive. So it is very manageable. It's like if you have a full-time job as well, or even part-time job, you can manage, you can like it's like if you had a full-time job as well.
I suppose for people to be aware, the timetables, they can see sample timetables on the course pages. So you'll see, because all of our student ambassadors here, they'll all have different timetables, different schedules, different days off. Like this semester, Letitia, are you in 5 days, 4 days a week, long days, short days? What way does it look like for you at the moment?
So the first semester, we actually going only 3 days. We have one day, but was able to do it a bit through email and online work. Now the second semester, it's gonna be 4 full days. Four
So a
full
bit of
days.
adjustment.
Yes, but I'm excited.
But it's good for people to know that not every program is 5 full days, 9 to 5. So there is some flexibility because we know a lot of our students, they may need to have part-time jobs or they have childcare facilities or timetables they need to work around. So for people to know, they can see those timetables there and get an idea. But you're very enthusiastic, Letitia. You're loving your time. So have you
I am.
any parting wise words for anybody?
So the call now for go back to studies, follow that dream, don't waste it. Go for it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much,
No
Letitia,
problem.
for
Thank
that.
you.
And I'm going to ask Georgina to join us next. And again, Georgina, I'll get you to introduce yourself. So, what course you're doing, what campus you're on, and what year you're in. Oh, you're on mute as well, sorry.
Hi everybody. So I'm Georgina. I am studying social care in Blanchardstown, and I've just finished up my placement. So I am now coming into second semester of year 2.
And I suppose same to you, Letitia, what made you come back to education, or how did you find that decision to come back?
I suppose I worked within the criminal justice system quite early, in my 20s for a number of years. I then sort of left that and I worked, within the hospitality industry, and, you know, I'm in my middle years, and I just, sat down and said, I really need to do something. And, I sort of always wanted to care for people and sort of have that people sort of facing role. So I went back and I actually done a level 5 in social care, to sort of give me sort of a view of what maybe some of the modules may contain, if I may be, capable of, being able to set a time study for that amount of content that's there. And I actually loved I love my level 5. I love I love studying where I studied, and it really gave me that sort of link to the pathway to applying to TUD for, my level 8 in social care.
And that's a great example because, as Nolene said earlier there today, you can be not only a mature student, but you can tick that QQI button as well and come in based on those pathways. And I suppose it's a great option for people who maybe aren't sure what they want to do yet. And before they commit to a full 4 years at the level
Yeah.
8, it gives them a chance, as you say, test the water, see if it's for you. In your case, you did, and you saw you really enjoyed it. But maybe for some people, they do a level 5 or 6 and think, okay, maybe that's not what I thought it was going to be. But then they know what they don't want to do, so they can pick something else. So you really found that beneficial anyway, doing the QQI first
I
before.
really did. Yeah, I really did. I think it sort of allows you to sort of understand more about what the aspects of social care actually are, and if you sort of, I can't say have the mental capacity to be able to process a lot of the stuff that you do see and you do learn about it within the course, so yeah.
And that's really important for anybody maybe on the call tonight who's thinking of social care. It's quite different to any of our other programs like a business or an engineering. There's a lot more considerations to it. It takes a certain kind of person. And as well, there's other requirements there. As you mentioned, we'll ask you now
Yeah.
about your workplace. So you have that hands-on experience. There's Garda vetting involved. But the great benefit of that is you are certified then by Coru at the end of it. So you have that professional certification alongside your academic certification then as well. So with your work placement then, do you want to tell us how did you find that experience?
I actually loved my work placement. I think I was given, they sort of assess you, your lecturers, I think all through, literally as soon as you step foot in the door in first year, about sort of who you are and what you are and sort of what you're capable of doing and maybe what your limits are as well. And I think, sort of where I was directed for my placement, I worked in a secure mental health facility. So you would have individuals that are, very ill, have been sectioned under the courts and stuff like that, and, have basically, their freedom, removed from them. So I really enjoyed it. I found putting theory into practice fantastic. I think that if I hadn't have done my level 5 and being in sort of having to prepare the professional practice modules and the preparing for social care practice modules and behind me and learning, how to be a social worker and the practices of a social worker, the legislations around it, duty of care, all about, privacy, confidentiality, autonomy, stuff like that, and also how to work within a multidisciplinary team, and also how to be under supervision, sort of that when you're on placement, you also have goals that you have to set for yourself throughout it, your SMART goals, but you also have the work that contributes towards you completing that placement, which is which is core connected, which is, the core proficiencies that you need to know, the set ones, what they mean, basically what they are, why do we use them? And, when you go out and practice. So it's a very, very, I can't say it's an easy placement. It depends really where you're set for your placement. I think I was, mentally and physically capable of doing my placement because I'd been previously sort of linked to environments like that, within my, criminal justice background. I think it did test me on certain times. It can be sort of, you build so much resilience while you are on placement. You also develop so much empathy. And, it's just, I found that I'm actually going back more sort of developed as a professional more than a student, if that makes sense, that my knowledge of everything that I learned within my first year really, really came in need on my placement. Everything I learned about legislation, how to carry out my duties, and also about, how to work within a team, because when you are out on placement, working within a team is key. Even though you're there to complete that placement for yourself, you're working with so many other different professions as well, that you have to be sort of open to judgment and critique, and allow that you grow and you develop from that experience.
So you would definitely say, anyway, your time in the classroom prepared you for your placement, but now your placement has also prepared you for going back to the classroom.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like some of the professionals I did, compare with when I was on my placement, were quite shocked that the level that I was able to sort of speak to them and converse with them, and, I applied that back to how amazing the lecturers are within the modules, and, how focused they are to get you to where you need to be. And to be honest, I don't think there was anything that is not covered within the module preparing you to go on placement to practice as a social care worker within the community.
Brilliant. And then what advice would you give, like I asked Letitia, to anyone out there now considering starting their journey as a mature student?
Don't be scared. Don't second guess yourself. Apply for it. Just hit that button. I think the hesitation can sort of knock you a little sideways, because sometimes you feel you have imposter syndrome. That is not the case. Just because you are middle-aged or in your 40s like myself, that does not mean that, education is not for you. Like, I'm among mature students within my classes, but there are a lot of, I'd say maybe 40% of the class that are younger than me, but I think having a mixture of both mature and younger students balance out really well, because you're getting perspectives from sort of both. Even though you have people with lots of life experience, you also have individuals that are, going through normal stuff every day that you don't, you can just sort of bounce off. So you sort of take everything to your grasp that's there, and every support that you can get. So I highly recommend, don't doubt yourself. Don't feel that you're incapable. There are so many supports, whether it be from your lecturers or your classmates or whatever friendships that you build while you're on campus, because there will be many of them.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Georgina, for that. And I'm going to ask Claudia then to join us. So if you want to introduce yourself, Claudia, your program, your year, and what campus you're studying on.
Yep. Hi, my name is Claudia. I'm studying optometry in my 4th year and on the Grange Gorman campus now.
What made you choose TU Dublin, and especially what made you choose optometry? Because it's a very niche program. I believe we're the only one in Ireland offering that program here at the moment.
Yes, that's what made me choose it at first because it's the only school that does the optometry program, or at the time it was. And also, I was working in a practice for a while. And then after working there, I decided I wanted to pursue optometry.
And I suppose what's really unique to us here in TU Dublin is the optometry centre on the Grange Gorman campus. So do you want to tell people a little bit about that and what makes that so special? What do you get to do in there as part of your programme?
Yep. So in the 1st and 2nd year, we use the preclinical room. So we're practicing on each other. So all the people in your class, you get to test on them. And then in 3rd year, you're seeing patients from just the general public, and you're able to practice your skills and get supervision from lecturers or other supervisors. And then in 4th year, we do more eye tests and different types of tests. For example, we do pediatrics or contact lenses, so more specific tests. And we go on placement starting January. So I'm on my placement now. And that's you find your own optometry clinic, either a private or a public one, and you're able to practice there and get your hours done until the end of May.
And like Georgina, do you feel like your time in the classroom prepared you for that placement now going in?
Yes, for sure. And a lot of the classes and all the clinics that we had were very hands-on, so I was very well prepared to deal with patients. And I mean, everyone helps you anyway, so you can always ask questions, or like if you're unsure about anything, there's always someone you can ask so that you can do your best job and learn from the experience as well.
And it's a fantastic showcase of a program that is very hands-on. I'm sure you still have your lecture time and still have your classroom, but a lot of placement, a lot of activity and practice, which is great. Then when you do come out as a graduate, you are so well skilled because you have that experience to add to your CV as well as the time in your placement. And then to ask you then, so how do you find balancing your coursework, your placements, things like that? How do you manage your day-to-day schedule?
There's no lectures in the second half of the placement, so that helps a lot, but we still have assignments to do. And during the first 3 years, I was able to have a part-time job. So there's many days where you have maybe a Friday off or a Monday, and then Saturday or Sunday if you like to work those days. So it wasn't too bad. If you keep on top of all the and like studying and all the notes, then it's completely doable. And you still have free time to socialize and make friends and things like that.
What advice would you give to people who are considering starting their mature student journey?
Definitely that I always thought that I was going to be the oldest one in the class, and that nobody else was going to do the same thing, but there's so many people that do it, and every year there's always mature students, and everyone's so friendly and nice and helpful, and to just not be scared and start as soon as you can or as soon as you want to.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Claudia. And I'm going to ask our last student ambassador then, Cinder, to join us. And I'll ask you, Cinder, again, introduce yourself, your campus, your course, and the year you're in.
My name's Cinder. I'm doing engineering, so I'm between the Grange Gorman and Bolton Street campuses in my first year. Yeah.
I suppose that's a great example. Do you want to let people know how close is Bolton Street to Grange Gorman?
It's like if you're going from Central Quad to the main Bolton Street building, which is the journey I'm making, it's less than 10 minutes, but like it feels quite short. Like people go over there for lunch because the Bolton Street canteen is quite nice. And then people go to Grange Gorman, there's a lot more society stuff going on there and a lot more outdoor space so they're really, really closely connected, yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, when they see they have to move between Grangegorman and Bolton Street, sometimes can be worried about that commute. But as you say, it's really easy and really manageable to do across. And you get the benefit of being in both
Yeah, and
campuses.
there's a lot there. And not to mention that, like, well, you never have classes that are, we don't have to go between the two in a day. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, in my calendar, it's Monday, Tuesday, Grangegorman, and Wednesday, Friday, Bolton Street. So it's very manageable.
Fantastic. And what made you decide to pick engineering in TU Dublin?
I went to university. I'm 24 now. I finished my Leaving Cert in 2020. That was the year that the lockdown started and all of that. And I just wasn't really in the place to finish my degree. I picked history and politics, which is something I enjoy, but not something I'm interested in academically. And so I ended up dropping out of that course after a year and moving to London actually, and I started working and just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And in the end, I decided I'd want to work on climate adaptation and mitigations, like flood defenses and that kind of thing. And but more importantly, I kind of just wanted to, yeah, kind of plan for my future because I wasn't quite happy with the place that I was in life before, and so I, yeah, figured out I wanted to do engineering, and uh, yeah, it's been going really well so far. I chose to Dublin specifically because um, it wasn't actually my first choice. I'd been in UCD before. I thought that was quite nice, and I had a look at their programs too. But in the end, like I in UCD, but since I joined TD, like everything's a bit like a lot of other really good things to say about it. I'm like and that when I'm playing, we're working aspects of it seem really.
I think we just lost the signal just at the very end there, Cinder, just as you were saying about the difference between UCD there and TU Dublin.
Yeah. So I found that like when I started at TUD and even just in the first months of my degree that a lot of my lectures were kind of positioned about around getting me into the industry, and I'd like half of my lecturers have worked in the industry for years, if not decades, and so they can really kind of give us an insight into what we can expect to use and how we can expect to apply things from the very beginning of the course, which I really appreciate and is, yeah, motivating me to go through as well.
Fantastic. And then just as we're coming up to our final moment of the webinar, Cinder, we'll let you have the last word on what advice would you give to mature students?
I think Georgina alluded to the same point of like I really had a feeling of, oh, I've been out of school for ages, like I haven't really used that part of my brain. I haven't studied in like quite some time, and being worried that like I'm not cut up for it, and that like it like might like go not go well for me basically, because I had dropped out before, like I knew what that struggle was like, but I found it like almost the opposite, like because I'd had so much time to make that decision and because I'd like lived so much of my life already, I was able to really appreciate, like I am able to really appreciate what I'm studying and why I'm doing it. And all those lessons I've learned in life up to now and all the ways I've found to like solve problems and like all the skills I've taught myself, like discipline and like working with people have actually meant that even though I might be a bit rusty on the academic front, I've got so many more skills that are really carrying me through my course. And yeah, that's been really great to see. I feel quite confident, but like I've gotten quite confident over the past few months. And when I started, I was feeling quite anxious about it. So it's been really great so far. And the support is there too. That's like been the case throughout. You've got lecturers and lecturers who are happy to talk to you. The tutorials are there for a lot of subjects to kind of help you catch up. And then there's math support, the math support group, the writing support group, all these different initiatives just to kind of help you keep going. And then I found like everyone seems to have the same spirit of cooperation and just trying to get through the course together. Like I've never really been stuck on something and not felt able to ask someone like what was going on. And that's been really, really valuable. So yeah, like it's for me at least, it was a lot easier than it seemed, and yeah, a lot more enjoyable. Well, yeah, really, really enjoyable either way.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Cinder, and thank you to our 4 student ambassadors and my 2 colleagues, Karen and Nolene, and my colleague David in the background there, who is managing the chat. So we hope you got lots of useful information out of the webinar here this evening. As I mentioned in the beginning, this session was recorded and the recording will be going out and will be published for you to watch in the upcoming days. So if you need to go back, and I know my colleagues have been very helpful there, answering lots of questions in the chat as well for people. And if you do have any remaining questions or want to ask them, again, the email addresses are admissions@tudublin.ie or courses@tudublin.ie. And David is popping it there in the chat for you. So do feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We hope to see you all in the next September or the coming years. So don't forget to fill out that CAO. I believe today was actually the deadline for the cheaper CAO fee. So if you want to jump on and try get one there now, I don't know if it's closed or not yet, but if not, you still have, as Nolene said, up to the 1st of February to make those standard applications. So even open the form if you're not sure. As all our student ambassadors say, the scariest bit is just going for it. So just make the application, see how you get on, ask your questions, and the support is always there for us to help